As someone who spent years carrying fear behind a strong face, I know what it's like to live looking calm on the outside while your insides feel like they're on fire. And you go through your day smiling and nodding and telling everybody that you're fine, that, yeah, I'm good. But underneath, your mind is racing with 1,000 different thoughts about what could go wrong or what you might mess up or who you might let down. And you tell yourself that you're strong, that you can handle all of this, that you don't need to talk about it because you're a man. That's what men do. We man up, we figure it out. We say, you know what, I got this. But then there's that voice in your head that just never fucking stops. It tells you that you're not enough, and it tells you that you're failing. It tells you that no matter how hard you try, you'll always be behind. And that quiet fear starts shaping everything. Like how you show up, how you lead, how you love, how you hide. And the thing that most of us never stop long enough to ask ourselves is, what if that fear isn't something we were meant to carry? What if the power that drives us, the love that connects us, and the clarity that keeps us all grounded, what if those things have been there the whole time? And we've just been too scared to let those things lead us. You know, I'm not a biblical man. I'm not like an overly religious man, but there is a verse that I came across a while back that hit me so hard. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear. He has given us one of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Now, whether you're a religious guy or not doesn't matter here. I mean, forget theology for a second. Just think about what that verse is really saying. It's saying that fear is not yours. It was never the spirit you were given. You were never born with fear. Which means the thing that you've been battling, that constant worry, that thing that says you're not enough, that voice that keeps you second guessing all of the time, or that anxiety that makes you feel like you're one mistake away from losing everything, that's not who you are. That's not your spirit. That's the noise, man. That's the old programming. That's the past. But underneath all of that, there's something else. Power, love, and a sound mind. Like, you see how awesome that is? And when I first heard that, I didn't get it right away. I thought, power meant dominance. It meant being in control, being the loudest voice in the room. I thought that love meant, weakness. It was too soft. And I thought that having a sound mind meant pretending everything was fine when it really wasn't. You can only fake it so much. But over time, through my own breakdowns, through my own failures, my mistakes, my sleepless nights, my own moments of wondering if I was always going to be a screw up, wondering if I'd ever actually be okay, I started to realize that power isn't control. It's presence. It's being able to stand in who you are when everything around you is shaking. And love is not a weakness, man. That's courage. Being able to love is courageous. It's the strength to stay open when everything in you wants to shut down. And a sound mind isn't pretending you're fine. It's learning to breathe when the noise gets too loud. Most men that I talk to are just tired. And not just physically tired, they're soul tired. You've been carrying your story like a backpack full of bricks for so long, you don't even remember what it's like to walk without the weight. You've convinced yourself that if you stop holding it all together, it's going to fall apart. That you can't rest because rest feels like giving up, like it's a weakness. And you can ask for help, but most of us don't. Because when you do, it feels like you're a failure. Like there's something that you should have known by now. That, you should have this figured out by now. You can't let yourself cry because somewhere along the lines, You were told that emotions make you soft. And so you keep running and you keep working, you keep building, you keep performing. But what if I told you that fear has been driving more of your life than you think? Fear of not being enough, fear of losing love, fear of being seen, fear of slowing down long enough to actually feel what's underneath all of that noise. And you see, in that Bible verse, this guy, Paul, he writes that verse to Timothy. You know, he wasn't talking to someone who was weak. He was talking to someone who was capable but scared. A young man who was stepping into leadership, probably doubting if he could handle it, probably feeling the weight of expectation. And Paul is saying to this guy, hey, that fear that you feel, it's not from God or the universe or life or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter, but that fear is not you. That is not your spirit. You were built for more than that, man. And it hits deep. If you really allow those words to sink into your soul, feel those words, feel the gravity of those words, because most of us, we never got that. We got told to just suck it up. We got told to just be a man, and we got told that emotions are dangerous and vulnerability is soft and needing love is something to be ashamed of. But maybe what we needed to hear instead was that fear that's driving you, it doesn't define you. You were given something stronger, something bigger than that. So what does that look like in real life? You know, it means catching yourself in those moments where fear is running the show. When you're about to lash out because you're scared, when you're about to shut down because you don't want to be seen, and you're about to check out emotionally because connection feels too damn risky, it's saying, wait, this fear is not me. This is not the spirit that I was given. I was not born with this fear. You know, and that one pause, that one breath, that one moment of awareness, that's your power. That's you stepping back into alignment with what's real. And power doesn't mean forcing your way through life. It means knowing who you are in the middle of it. And it's not pretending to be fearless. It's remembering that even when you are afraid, fear doesn't own you. That you can act anyway. You can still show up. You can still lead. And that's power. Now, love, that's the one that we run from the most, because real love asks us to open up where we have been hurt. And it asks us to show parts of ourselves that we've spent years hiding. And that's terrifying. But love is not just about giving affection. It's about giving presence. It's about seeing the humanity in yourself and the humanity in others, even when they don't deserve it. It's what stops us from turning our pain into control or withdrawal. It's what keeps us human. And then there's a sound mind. That might be the hardest part, because most of us have been living with chaos in our heads for so long, we think that it's normal. But a sound mind, you guys, it's not something that you find. It's something that you build. Every time you slow down enough to feel, every time you choose honesty over hiding, or the times that you choose to regulate instead of react, you're building a sound mind. And that's the spirit of a sound mind at work. It's balance, it's peace and motion. It's being able to tell yourself the truth when the lies start screaming again. And here's what I've learned so far. Fear will always find a way to whisper to you. It's going to show up as self-doubt, as anger, as perfectionism, as overthinking, exhaustion. But your job isn't to silence it. Your job is to remember who you are when it speaks. So you were not given a spirit of fear, which means fear doesn't get the final say. You were given power, which means you can move forward even when you don't feel ready. You were given love, which means you can lead from your heart and not your wound. And you were given a sound mind, which means you can think clearly even when everything around you feels like chaos. And maybe that's what healing really is. Maybe it's not about getting rid of fear, but remembering who you are underneath it. When you remember that, you guys, something starts to shift. You stop reacting out of old pain, and you stop chasing validation. You stop performing for love. You stop making every single moment a test of your worth. You start breathing again. You start listening again. You start loving again. Loving yourself. Loving your people. Loving your purpose. And if you take anything from this, let it be this, okay? You are not broken because of your fear. You're human. The difference is now you get to decide who leads. Fear or love, rejection or presence, chaos or clarity. You get to choose which spirit runs your life. I'm not here to preach at you, okay? I just want to make that clear. This is not a biblical construct type of conversation. I'm just here to remind you that you were made for more than just surviving. You were made to live with strength and with love and with peace. And that verse, yes, comes from the Bible, but it's not a command. It's just a reminder of what's already true about you. That you were never given a spirit of fear. So stop living like fear is in charge and start living like you already have what you've been searching for. You already have the power and the love and the sound mind that you really want. It's already yours. You guys, if this hits anything in you, if it made you think about the way that you've been carrying your fear, or if it gave you even a small piece of hope, I want you to do something for me, okay? Don't just scroll away. Take a moment to pause and drop a comment down below and tell me what hit you the hardest. Tell me, where has fear been showing up for you lately? Tell me the one thing that you're ready to stop letting fear control. And guys, if this message really spoke to you, if it reminded you of who you really are, please hit that subscribe button. Okay, there's a part of you that's ready to keep moving forward. I want to be along for that journey. You know, if you're ready to keep growing, to keep healing, to keep learning how to live from that place of power, love, and peace, I'd be honored to join you. This is what we do here. We talk about the stuff that most men never say out loud. The pain, the pressure, the stories that we've been afraid to face. And every time one of us chooses to talk about it, another man gets free. So if you're listening to this right now, maybe that man is you. Maybe it's time to stop letting fear write your story. Maybe it's time to start living from the spirit that was already given to you the very second you came into this existence. Power, love, and a sound mind. So take a deep fucking breath right now. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just remembering who you've been all along. And if you are ready to keep doing that work, to keep showing up, to keep learning how to live from that deeper place, stick around, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let's keep this conversation going, because you were never meant to do this alone. You were never given a spirit of fear. You were given power, love, sound mind, and it's time to start living like it.